Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. Today we are actually gonna be making homemade ramen from scratch. Now, for this 2-serving recipe, you will need 2 chicken breasts, preferably with skin on, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, 2 teaspoons of ginger and 2 teaspoons of garlic grated up together, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of mirin. Now, if you don't have mirin, you can use rice wine. You'll just have to put a bit of sugar in just to sweeten it back up again. Some fresh mushrooms, 2 hard-boiled eggs, some scallions or spring onions, some noodles, and 4 cups of chicken stock. Start by seasoning your chicken breast with salt and pepper and preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Then heat some oil in a frying pan, or once again, cast iron pan if you have one. And then if you are using skin on chicken breasts, place it skin side down first and cook for 5 minutes until the skin is nice and crisp, and then turn over and cook for a further 5 minutes. Once coloured on both sides, simply place it in the oven and cook for around 15 minutes or until fully cooked. This is where cast iron pans come in great because you can use them in the oven as well. Starting to feel like I should work for cast iron sales. Now, whilst the chicken is cooking in the oven, we can start on the broth. Simply heat your sesame oil in the pan until it becomes nice and fragrant, and then add in your ginger and garlic. And now you just want to cook this until it's soft. This should only take around 2 minutes. And it will take on the colour of the oil. And then add in your mirin and soy sauce and cook for a further 1 minute. This just helps try and get some of the alcohol out of the mirin. And then add in your chicken stock and simmer for 5 minutes. Now, whilst your broth is simmering, you can prepare your mushrooms and spring onions simply by slicing them, but keep them separated, as one is a garnish and one is for the actual broth. Now, once your broth has simmered, add the mushrooms in and just make sure they don't keep floating to the top. Just keep stirring them so they fully cook through. And then we just want to cook this broth for a further 5 minutes. Now, once again, in this time, you can prepare your noodles by simply bringing a pan of water to a boil and cook your noodles for 2 to 3 minutes, or how long the packet instructions say to cook your noodles for. And then simply peel your boiled eggs. I always have problems peeling boiled eggs, but somehow today I actually managed to nail it, and I didn't actually rip any of the egg apart. Now, by this time, your chicken should be fully cooked. Remove it from the oven, slice it into strips, and then set to one side. Now, to bring this whole dish together, start by placing your noodles in the bowl and pour over half of the broth. And then place some of the mushrooms over the top or to one side, depending on how aesthetically pleasing you want your bowl to look. Then slice your egg in half and then place that on top of the noodles as well. And then add your chicken. I like to place the chicken in one whole piece and then just slightly push it over to fan the slices slightly. And then sprinkle over your sliced spring onions and optionally a pinch or 2 of sesame seeds. And then, using your cutlery of choice, dig in. As homemade ramen is a nice filling meal, it does of course take a bit longer than packet ramen, but the extra time is completely worth it. Now, I've always been interested in visiting a nice ramen restaurant where they just have wide ranges of ramen. Until the current state of the world has sorted itself out, this homemade version is gonna have to fill the gap for now. And of course, I may be revisiting ramen in the future just for different recipes, or maybe even homemade noodles. Well, that does it for this week's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I can only apologise for the monstrosity that I created yesterday, but trust me, it was worse for me to make and edit than it was for you to watch, or at least that's how I feel anyway. But hopefully I will see you all again next week. Thanks for watching.